In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I built my business in such a way where it feels like I'm printing money. And the way that I'm gonna show you this is in such a way where you don't need to hire any employees. You don't have to go viral or rely on AdSense whatsoever. And you're gonna be able to do this at 90% profit margins. So if you structure your business with a small YouTube channel, like I'm gonna show you in this video, you'll literally be able to print money and be like this guy right here, just cranking the money printer. So very quickly, this is not going to be a get rich quick scheme or a specific business model, any of that stuff. It's not easy per se, but it's a simple process. And it's not going to apply for a complete beginner that has no skills. So the only requirement is that you already have a business. So you're an agency owner, a freelancer, an online business, or just somebody that has a skill, service, or product that you can offer to a consumer or a business. Now at this point, I know what you're thinking, like, who the hell are you? Like, why should I even listen to you? So very quickly, I have this other YouTube channel that has under 5,000 subs. And if you take a look at this right here, even though YouTube only pays me $170 for AdSense, which is like literally nothing, this small YouTube channel was able to make me in the last 4 weeks over $20,000 like you see right here. So $27,000 in volume. So you might be wondering, like, how the hell is this possible? How did this guy with under 5,000 subs make this amount of money? So that's what I'm going to show you in this video, and how you can build a business in such a way where it feels like you're printing money with a small YouTube channel. Now, in order to do this, there's two concepts that I'm going to talk to you about. The first one is positioning, and the second one is distribution. So once you figure out positioning and distribution in your business, you'll be able to unlock something, which is leverage. And as you may know, leverage is the difference between how much you put in versus how much you put out. So just imagine a business, running a business where you put a little bit in and you get a lot of it out. That's what I'm going to cover in this video. Now, more specifically, the way that we apply leverage is in two areas that I'm going to cover in this video. The first one is applying leverage as to how we get clients. And the second one is applying leverage as to how we actually do the service delivery or provide a service to a client once they buy our services. So first, I'm going to start with getting clients right here. So right now in your business, as you might already know, you need to have a client acquisition system in place. So this means being able to take a complete stranger into a client that gives you money. So we do this through taking this prospect through a series of steps. So from attention, interest, consideration, intent, purchase, and that's how you'd be able to take a stranger to a paying customer. Now the thing is, I see a lot of people, and this used to be the same thing for myself in the past, that struggle with this system right here. And to show you why or how you can fix this, I wanted to start by showing you this story right here very quickly. So originally, I'm from Colombia, and I went earlier this year to a small beach town called Santa Marta. And while I was on the beach, I noticed two types of sellers, and they were getting drastically different results. The first type of seller was the way that I was running my business in the past, which was kind of like with cold outreach. This type of seller right here was walking up and down the beach, literally asking every single person to buy their hats. So he was literally up and down in the middle of the sun, chasing clients, and most people were ignoring. So you see this photo right here. These two girls, well, this first girl is looking down, trying to ignore. It's maybe the same thing in your business. You're sending cold DMs, cold outreach, whatever it may be, and you're getting ignored. And this girl seems like she's leaning back in a way that's like, oh no, like, thanks, I'm not interested. Like, just get away from me. And again, this might be what you're experiencing, and definitely what I used to experience in the past with my own business. A lot of rejection, a lot of no. It just constantly felt like I was chasing clients. On the other hand, from the hotel to the way to the beach, there was this beach stand right here that also sold hats. Now the thing is, I always saw this beach stand with clients and it was always busy. And the kind of interesting part was that it wasn't that this guy was working harder. Like, if anything, these guys, these street vendors were walking up and down, competing against each other, trying to like lowball, like, oh, this guy's gonna give it to me for $30. Oh, I'll give it to you for $20. Like, just negotiate, working, doing as much as they could to try to get people to buy. And this guy was sitting in a chair, and somebody would just walk up to him, and then he would just stand up and be able to very easily sell these hats. Now, you may or may not know why this guy was able to get these results, but what I realized and what I came to the conclusion was his positioning, the way that he has established himself in the beach. He naturally positioned himself or his stand in such a way where everyone coming from the hotel to the beach was going to see him. And if somebody didn't bring a hat and all of a sudden they saw a beautiful beach stand like you see right here selling hats, they might be thinking in their heads, oh, like I do need a hat. Let me just walk in to or like get close to this stand and buy a hat for myself. The people that were already in the beach, like some of them might need a hat, but a lot of them already had hats, for instance. And just by simply changing the positioning or the difference in the position was what made so that this guy was very efficient. And that's how he unlocked a huge amount of leverage. And in your business specifically, your positioning, the way that you set about getting clients is going to unlock a massive amount of leverage. So we're going to have this seller number one be kind of like outreach and like traditional, like how you might be getting clients right now. And then the second way, which is content and more specifically a micro YouTube channel. So in terms of strategy, this guy right here was all about interrupting people. So they were already in the beach having a good time, and he was interrupting people in the middle of the day. So it might be the same thing with cold outreach. Somebody's on their business, they get a phone call, they think it's a client, but it's just some marketing agency trying to get their business, or a door knocker or any of that stuff. It's just interrupting people. In comparison, this guy right here simply positioned his stand in a position where there was already traffic. You don't need to go chasing people. The people are already there. You're just simply trying to position yourself in such a way to attract that traffic. In terms of the effort, like this is very high. I remember in my case, picking up the phone, calling people, which is why when I transitioned to posting content on YouTube, it felt like even though I was still putting a lot of effort, the results that I was getting were much higher. So in comparison, the relationship between these two, it felt like the effort was low for the amount of results that I was getting, which is why, quote unquote, it felt like printing money. In terms of conversions and the client intent with cold outreach and with this guy right here, what I noticed is that it's very inconsistent. It's cold and most of the people are not interested, which is why you're always chasing clients. With this guy right here, the one with the beach stand, which is well positioned and somebody that has a good content strategy, people are kind of consistent. It's a steady flow and the leads that are talking to him are warm and interested. So just think about it. The beach stand is like right there in the middle of the traffic. People that naturally get closer or walk into his store are already kind of thinking about getting a hat. It's not a seller going to chase somebody that didn't show any intent about them wanting a hat, which is why these leads, and for YouTube as well, the leads that come to my business through YouTube are warm and interested as well. So with good positioning is going to make it so getting clients feels like it's on easy mode. Now I wanted to very quickly draw two different funnels. Let's say that the first one is like this, very, very thin. And then the second one is wider like this. So if in the first stage, which is attention or interest even, you're not getting that many prospects like this guy right here. Literally nobody was giving him any sort of attention or interest. It's going to be very difficult to keep bringing down further down because on each step you're going to lose more people. So if you already start with few people right here, it's going to be very hard, which is why when I used to do outreach as well, it just felt like I had to do a lot of effort just to try to get one client here at the end. However, if you have a funnel where the attention and interest stages are very, very big, or you have more people in those stages, you're going to have more chances to actually get more people through to the end of the funnel. And we can fix this with positioning. So specifically to do like draw the point even more, we have outreach here and content. And the thing with outreach is that because of the fact that it interrupts people who aren't looking, or the people that you do come in contact are not ready, it feels a little bit pushy, desperate, and the client feels like it's pressured or annoyed. This is what I would call bad positioning. Now for content, the difference is that if you position it in such a way that is strategically positioned, you're going to attract people that are already interested and want to buy. You already have a solution to the problem that you're currently facing. They discover you on their own terms. Just think about it. You go on YouTube, you see a video that piques your curiosity or speaks about a specific problem that you're facing. Let's say a lonely guy wants to get more dates, and there's a video that says, here's how you can get more dates. Naturally, there's somebody that already has a problem. They click on that video, they watch that video, and if in that video there's some sort of program or offer that is presented to them, the likelihood that they buy it is much, much higher because they already had a problem in that area to begin with. Now, with content, not only are you going to be able to get the attention of people, but if you deliver free value or you solve a specific problem in that content, it's going to make it so that you build trust before prospects reach out to your offer as well. Here, clients won't feel pressured or annoyed because they discover you on their own terms. And if they are not interested in your video anymore, they themselves have the control to exit that video and so on. So they feel like they're in control and they don't feel like they're being annoyed. The cool thing about a video as well, or having a content strategy, is that once you post that video, it can work for you 24/7. So once published, it unlocks distribution as well. So they're kind of like interrelated as well. It helps you reach one to many with distribution, and YouTube algorithm is going to push it to people that are your ideal prospects, which solves for positioning. So at this point, you may be thinking, okay, this is sounding kind of cool, but how does this actually look like in practice? So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it for my own business. So in the past, long story short, I used to run a web design agency with cold outreach, cold DMs, all that stuff, cold calling people. And I completely transformed my business, getting to $20,000, $30,000 a month when I started building a small YouTube channel around that skill that I was good at. And the way that this looked in practice is that on YouTube, my ideal prospect was already looking for my services. They were pretty much business owners that needed a website. So there was already traffic or attention on YouTube. All I had to do is create content that spoke to my ideal prospects or my ideal client. In this case, it says build beautiful Go High Level websites. If you don't know what Go High Level is, it's a software. So I was solving a problem of building a beautiful website in a specific niche. So not just web design because it would be too broad, but a sub niche, Go High Level web design. And then from there, I would be able to get some of these attention into my video. And then once they clicked on the video, they would see a step-by-step of a tutorial, tips and tricks. So I was literally providing free value. And what this led is that people were already trusting me. So we were going through the different stages of the marketing funnel right here. The attention, they saw my thumbnail. Interest, the thumbnail made it curious enough to click on my video. Consideration and trust is while they were watching my video. Now on this video, once a prospect was already watching my content and they were getting free value, I just made a simple call to action, which was, hey, if you're a business owner that doesn't have the time or would like an expert, myself, to do this for yourself, go to my website and book a call. So that's when it would go from consideration to intent. And a lot of the times, honestly, before they even booked the call, I found that these guys were already pre-sold. And when I hopped in the call, it was very easy to close them because of the fact that they'd already watched not just one video, but a lot of my content, gotten free value. And literally, because of this system that I had here in place, and because it was on easy mode, I was able to get more clients, which felt in a way like I was printing money. Like every time that I posted a video, I knew that I was going to book more appointments, get more sales, build more websites, and get paid, like more profit as well. So very simply, that is the system. Now that I talked about how you can unlock leverage when getting clients with distribution and positioning, now I'm going to talk to you about how you can apply leverage to the service delivery. So when it comes down to delivering your services and products to your clients, so let's say somebody did give you money, now you need to be able to, of course, deliver whatever it is that you promised to them. So in this case, let's say this guy bought a fitness program. Of course, what they want now is get the end result, which is get muscles, which would be done through the fitness program right here. So how do we actually unlock leverage in service delivery? So I'm going to start by talking about how I run into some problems once I started my YouTube channel. Once I started growing, I was able to constantly get clients on YouTube, but I run into the problem, which was a good problem, of not being able to deliver websites fast enough. So I was closing more clients that I was able to build websites for. And this was a little bit stressful because I had to do more service delivery. So with that problem in mind, I had a few solutions at my disposal. The first was hire more staff so that it would help me build more websites. The second would be to advertise less. So instead of posting 4 weeks a month, I would just post 2. That way I would get less leads and be able to fulfill all of the clients that I closed, or I could just work more hours. But I was already working 10 to 12 hour days, so I honestly couldn't work more hours. And I didn't particularly wanted to hire more stuff, but I knew, after long story short, I needed to unlock leverage. And what does leverage actually look like? I remember asking myself at the time, how can I make more while working the same? So it doesn't necessarily mean the same type of work, but maybe the same amount of hours in a different way. So what I realized is that I needed to productize in order to expand my distribution. And this is a little bit confusing, I know, so I'm gonna explain to you in just one sec. So what I ended up doing is that I kept my one-on-one offer. And what you can do if you're running into this problem once you start your YouTube channel is keep your one-on-one offer or your done for you services for premium clients. So of course, eventually what I did is I kept rising prices. So it literally led to more profit. But what I did it, and what you can do is if you have a one-on-one, you can add a group offer, or if you have a done for you service, you can add a do it yourself service. And what this does is that it unlocks leverage. So now not all of a sudden you can help more people, but because this product is not tied to your time or your specific efforts, you can just have more profit as well. So with that in mind, I have this chart right here, and it doesn't necessarily mean that once you run into this problem, you have to completely ditch the one-on-one services. You can if you want, but for me, we still kept it. And the way that this works is that for the delivery of the one-on-one would be custom for each client. It might be a little bit more tied to your time. And although it's limited, you can charge higher prices. Of course, it's going to be more high touch and a little bit less freedom. Now, once you add the digital products, what this allows is that you can be able to build a solution that is going to be one to many. This completely decouples your time from your income, and I'm going to show you exactly, again, as I already mentioned, how I did it in my business, and it's easier to scale as well past a certain point. So what this looks like in my case, if we go back to my web design agency, is that I already had businesses on YouTube that wanted a website. So I did content for them. They watched my content, got value, and naturally trusted me. But here I had two options and two offers now. I had the first offer, which was what I already offered before, which was I'll just build you your website, and this could be from $2,000 to $5,000, and then this would be of course a fewer clients because I'm doing like a full website for them. And the second option would be a website template. So just think about it. The one-on-one or the custom solution was a website. A productized version of this would be a website template, something that I built once upfront, and I can sell 1, 10, 100 times to my YouTube audience. Now this one of course was a lower ticket. So we had solutions for $297 all the way to $1,000. But when we coupled both of these right here, it made it so that we had unlocked this piece right here, which eventually started making more than the actual custom web design component right here. So again, this goes back to the distribution. Distribution, not just when you get clients, but how you productize your services and your offer, how you're able to help your clients in a way that completely decouples your income from your time. So with that being said, focus on positioning and distribution both into how you get clients and how you deliver results for your clients. And once you do this, you're going to unlock massive leverage like I did from a small channel that only had under 5,000 subs, but still made me well over $20,000 months consistently. Now you can watch more videos on my YouTube channel right now to see exactly more behind the scenes as to how I was able to build this $20,000 a month with a small YouTube channel. And if you want me to personally help you implement the exact systems, frameworks, and my entire content strategy in your own business, click the link in the description and let's talk.